Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dave Sharpe, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary, my friends. We have got yet another exciting show. Great guest this morning. Somebody who, I'm excited to hear from, learn from. If you guys are, jumping on right now, drop us a comment. Say hello, good morning. Let us know there's life out there. Give us some energy. And if you happen to be catching the replay, then drop a comment down below as well. Share this with somebody. Post it in your Facebook groups. If you've got Facebook groups, share the message, spread this around. This is always every single day, 5 days a week, valuable information that can help everybody, that can serve everybody with zero BS, zero ulterior motives, zero agendas, except just to deliver value. And if you guys, if people want to be a part of our community that are not, great, right? Maybe you could share a link with them if you're an affiliate. If not, then you're just spreading value and helping people learn how to maximize the opportunity that is the internet in 2021. So with that being said, let's bring on our guest this morning. Joey, what's going on, my man?
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
Good, brother. Good. How are you? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Coppell, Texas, which is basically Dallas. It's a small town in Dallas.
Yeah. Awesome. So you do a little AV, okay? So that's for those of you who don't know what AV is, it's very simply audio video. I didn't know that either until I started doing events and so forth. So if you have a desire in the future, folks, to do events, which is one of the core 4 business models of how to sell information, you may learn more about AV. But tell us what brought you in to the whole internet marketing thing, and what eventually led you to Legendary.
I kind of my backstory. I've been in the audio video field for 27 years, and I've done a lot of different types of work in this field. I have a really good friend back in Idaho that I grew up with, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's told me before, he's like, hey, would you think about this? Would you rather have 10 sources of income or streams of income, of like $1,000, or would you rather have one job that pays you $10,000 a month? And, at the time I was just like, oh yeah, I didn't, I hadn't opened my mind, to what that really meant. And then, during the COVID thing, common story with a lot of people, I ended up losing my job, and losing that one source of income impacted everything, our family life, our, the ability to pay bills and, and live. And, so, at that time, it made me think of that. And I was just like, wow, I've got to find a way. I've got to do something. I've got to take action. And my first thing I turned to was YouTube, like a lot of people. And
the black hole.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a great idea, but you don't get everything you need out of that. And I found that out. I started like a mattress website, and I was going to do these. I applied for all these affiliate programs, and anyways, that didn't end up working out. And I tried a little bit of trading, and I realized, this isn't going to bring me, really what I'm looking for at this point, maybe later down the road. And I was introduced to TikTok from my kids. And so, I just wanted to see, like, what are these, what are they doing on here? What's this TikTok thing about? And so I got on there, and then I started seeing Brian Brewer and Jamar Jones and, AJ Rance. And I was like, wow, this is that affiliate marketing. This is what I was trying to do. And they were promoting Legendary, and I was like, this is a sign. Maybe this is what I need to really get this off the ground,
Yeah. So what do you think that you did wrong, besides not having like good, solid training and community to be a part of? I would think that would be one of the obvious ones, because you mentioned you were trying to learn affiliate marketing from YouTube. Yeah. But what do you think? What would you do different if you were to approach the mattress affiliate do you believe that niche is a valid niche now that you know what you know, or do you believe that it's not it's not a niche that has potential?
Well, I'm going to revisit that actually, now with the experience that I've got, from Legendary and all the things that I've learned, over the past, several months.
Mm-hmm.
And now I do believe I could make it successful, and I'm going to. So I think that, just not knowing like the details of how a sales funnel works. I was trying to do this with just a website, and now I've learned how amazing a sales funnel can be, and how you can actually, lead your a client to what they're really looking for. So I think that's going to be instrumental and definitely help me be successful with that in the future. And the commissions aren't high ticket commissions necessarily, but they can be $200 to $400. And everybody needs to sleep, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think that a lot of times we just gravitate towards the make money online niche automatically because maybe that's how we're introduced to training, right? So we're introduced to good, solid training because there's marketers that are out there that are marketing a training program to teach you how to make money online or build your affiliate business better. And then we turn around and we say, okay, I'm just going to do what they're doing, right? And that can be good to get us off the ground, and that ultimately can be something that some of us end up staying in this quote unquote make money online niche forever. But I think a lot of times we also lack creativity or lack that risk-taking factor of going out there. And I think because of that, we miss opportunities to go out there and really challenge ourselves to look at something that's coming up for me is I'm going to respond to one of our private clients who enrolled in our blueprints and coaching this morning. And she was looking into the hiking niche and the outdoors niche. And, a lot of the companies that she had looked into were saying, well, you need to have a bigger brand. You need to be more of an influencer, et cetera, et cetera. And, that doesn't particularly mean that that's not a valid niche. That just means that some of the programs that you're looking for you to have a little bit of a bigger audience, which if you really want to go to that niche and work in that niche, is probably a good challenge anyways, to go out there and build an audience and see if people are actually interested in that information, right? So I think that sometimes, here's my point, we put the cart before the horse. In order to validate the niche, we're not always going to make $1 on day one. Sometimes we can go out there and, for example, start a TikTok channel and see if people are actually interested in the information, interested in maybe a free giveaway here or there, to where you're not trying to sell them anything, but they're clearly interested in that topic. What comes up for you as I'm going through that approach?
That definitely makes sense. And, I think that, that kind of boils down to like education as well. Like if she's new or if somebody's new to something and, they have a niche, like I have a niche kind of in the audio video side, and I'm actually preparing a few things, on, that I can promote for myself there, and help people. And, help people, to get are interested in podcasting or whatever. And, I've learned these skills by getting this education, and it all started with Legendary.
Well, once we have the skills and sort of understand the mechanics of how to, hold on, I'm turning down the AC at the wrong place. So my nanny's probably wondering why it's 69 degrees in the house right now. Okay, hold on a second. This is getting warm here, and I'm trying to turn the AC down, but technology sometimes is overwhelming for me. On the flip side of that, Joey, I had another private client yesterday that was getting momentum in the make money online space, and then was considering two things. Number one, creating another channel on TikTok, another channel to, instead of just being direct to camera, start doing more kind of B-roll style and royalty-free video without her face as much. So kind of try to take a non kind of personal approach to creating video. But she was also considering going into another niche. And my feedback to her was, well, try different angles to bring people to the same front door. Don't go building another front door when you've already got momentum and people coming to that front door. And I think a lot of times we have a bit of momentum going in our business, and we think that the way to get to the next level is to build another front door. And building that next front door is about timing. I'm not saying that's not a good idea, but it's not a good idea at the beginning when what you need to be doing is creating more channels or more tests, whether it's another TikTok account, whether it's Facebook, whether it's paid ads, to get more people to that one front door that's already working, just may not be going as fast as you want it. But the key is to get more people to that front door. Do you struggle at all with the distraction monster of wanting to switch gears and having a hard time with too many options and too many ideas?
I really did in the beginning, and some advice that Jamar gave me was to, try to just focus on one thing and dedicate to one thing. And, that's kind of what I've done with my TikTok, for example. Since you bring that up, I've concentrated on that for, just solely, for the past few months until I've grown it. I think I've got about a little over 30,000 followers now. And, now I'm starting to kind of see a progression where I need to direct, I need to get more information. There's only so much you can do on a 15-second or 60-second video. So I'm seeing, I've got a lot of people asking questions and wanting to learn about this and know more. And so, I'm starting to direct people to my YouTube channel, to give them more information, and to my Facebook group so that I can communicate with them and help them, So definitely, you have to concentrate on one thing until you master it. You got to build a foundation. And if you don't do that, then you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think that I know that our challenge as entrepreneurs who are, who understand the idea of multiple streams of everything, right?
Yeah.
And that's appealing to us. It's enticing. It's seductive to say, okay, well, more is better, but it's all about timing. And as I said, I want to reiterate that front door analogy, because, you guys spend time, we all spend time building our front door. And what is our front door? It's basically our lead capture page, right? It's that page that we bring people to where it's like, do you want to continue? If you do, give me your email. And then, there's more information on the other side. That's the front door. So we need to bring more people to that front door versus going and building another front door. And I'd say for a lot of you guys who have had, a channel blow up and then it kind of drizzles off, or what worked at the beginning is not working anymore, or you had a couple of videos take off and go viral and now you're kind of stuck, is get creative. Do something different, right? It's about throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, trying new angles, going live, running a couple of paid ads. It's just, looking at other people and seeing what they're doing, but not getting stuck in what they're doing, actually asking yourself, how can I be more creative and how can I be more original? So how have you been able to be more original in while learning from other people, not get caught up in comparisonitis and losing your own authentic voice and your own identity as a marketer?
Well, you definitely, on TikTok, there's a lot of copy, everybody's kind of, you see a lot of people doing a lot of the same things. And then you see some people that are, they'll take something and really what you need to do is put your own twist on it or make it about you, your story, so, some things, in a 15-second video, a lot of what you're trying to do is just get across, a a small point like, hey, there's this really great way to make money online. It's a low cost business model to start. You have to educate yourself, and then, bam, the video's over.
Yeah.
And, you need to try to kind of follow some trends and, use the hashtags. And, for instance, I struggled for a good 2 or 3 months until I got the 15-second free leads. And honestly, watching that, I was just like, wow, I should have done that. I should have educated myself before I started. I just kind of jumped in, and that's another thing I learned. There are resources out there, and for anybody who's just beginning, I recommend, invest in yourself, and especially if you want to be successful on TikTok, don't just try everything, like actually, spend the dollar for that program. I mean, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and I just updated our business blueprint, and there's an entire section on YouTube. So, look, every once in a while people will come in and they'll say, is anybody able to be successful without, buying the blueprints and all this kind of stuff? And it's like, well, I mean, there's people who are successful all over the world, who've doing affiliate marketing, who've never even heard of Legendary. So it's not about buying blueprints, not buying blueprints.
Yeah.
It's not about, I'm going to buy a training program and all of a sudden a burning bush is going to appear and stone tablets are going to drop from the sky and I'm just going to know the secrets. It's like this game is an ongoing, never-ending learning process. And it's just like, I think the question everybody has to ask themselves is, do I want to be a freebie seeker? Do I want to be somebody who is always looking for the free? It's kind of like chasing the first hit, right? It's like being a drug addict, man. Sorry for the analogy, but it's like being a drug addict, man. Like the first time you get high is like incredible. Like you smoking pot, for example. It's like you're like laughing your ass off. It's just, I remember my first time. I was a young kid and it was just so fun, and it was never that fun ever again. And I kind of feel like learning about internet marketing is the same. When you first see it, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, right? Maybe you see a video on TikTok or YouTube, but then you end up chasing that same kind of high from video to video to video, and you never really get it. And until you actually say, look, I'm going to treat this business like a business, not just like a hobby, not just like an addiction, to where I'm looking to always try to get something for nothing. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get serious about my education and go through some good stuff. And then I'm going to use that stuff. I see people in our community all the time who they'll ask a question. I'll even go look them up in the back office to see what they own. And it's like, they're not going through what they bought. So what sort of advice, Joey, could you give people around sticking and following through if they buy a training program with the training in seeing it through instead of just being sort of like a marketing crack addict? Again, I can say that as my history in drug addiction. Hopefully that's not triggering anybody, but how can we avoid that, bro? How do we get somebody who's new to just breathe and just stay the course and let go of that need for that instant gratification, and also go through what they buy and then apply it and be patient? I haven't figured that out yet. What is your insight on that in terms of I haven't figured out what is the magical thing I can say to get somebody to lean into that in instead of just looking for a shortcut all the time?
Yeah. The world, the way it is today, people want a shortcut. That's everybody just turns to the internet, just like I did with, trying to start this whole thing with YouTube. Yeah. And, it didn't work, and I mean, as shortcuts, like you have to put the work in and you have to be patient. And, if you take a look at any business, like most businesses, like this business model is a little bit different. There are some exceptions where where they just explode, you know, and that's the way it is in life. I mean,
Yeah.
But you can't compare yourself. You have to be patient. And, you know, I've been in the valley of despair, you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, Brian Brewer has, you know, talked about. And, you know, I've been there, and that's one of the things, you know, I always tell people, like, if I've got somebody new and, you know, they're just like, oh, you know, I'm stuck, or I'm, you know, I made this one thing and I'm just not seeing any results or whatever, then you know, I always just try to encourage them, you know, just stick with it, you know, just be consistent, just put in the time and just keep educating yourself and applying that, and the results are going to come. And I think that just patience is something that's not easy to teach. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's something that you either open your mind to that, and you get your mindset right to where you're going to, you know, apply these things and be patient, and or you don't, you know, and some people just end up, you know, they just end up being quitters.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not our fault, and it's not your fault if that's been a pattern in your life. You know, I think that for most of us, we have been preconditioned to, you know, we've just been not told the whole truth about business and about kind of what this takes. And that's one of the reasons why I try to do this every day and to have these kind of real conversations, because it just really brings out the reality of what this takes. And I've said this before, I think I said it last week, that being poor is hard, man. You know what I mean? Being rich is also hard, and you just got to choose your hard.
Yeah.
You know, because
different set of problems.
They're both hard, man. They're both hard. I mean, being unsuccessful in this business is really hard, and being successful is hard too. Being unsuccessful means that it's like constant unrealistic expectations, constantly looking for something for nothing. It's constant disappointment. It's constant letdown. It's constant frustration, only because I'm unwilling to take responsibility for my own success. You know, it's kind of like when I was trying to get clean from drugs, somebody said, all of your problems are just because of your inability to take personal responsibility. There's actually a line in this particular piece of literature I'm thinking of that says, through our inability to take personal responsibility, we were actually creating our own problems. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that in the beginning that I was creating my own problems because I was unwilling to take responsibility, and I always wanted to put it on somebody else. And I see that a lot. I don't comment on every post in Facebook groups and stuff like that, because it'd just be too much, and I don't want to dominate. I want to leave room for the community to thrive and grow. But I see people in it's just the unwilling or not knowing how to take personal responsibility it seems like being that victim. Like, there's a payoff in that. You know, there's an emotional payoff. It's not my fault. You know, it's not my fault. These people are not, the training's not thorough enough, or man, they're really mean, or whatever. Like, there's an emotional payoff in that people get, or else they wouldn't adopt that identity. But that's a really hard life, Joey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a hard life, man. But it's also hard to take like ridiculous loads of responsibility, because, you know, that means that ultimately the buck stops with me and everything's my fault. But I also, you know, get to reap all the rewards of my hard work. So tell me the difference. I mean, you've been a professional in AV. You're now, I feel like you're building this like a pro, like you've got a mature approach to this. What do you think the difference is? Is it an age thing? Do you think it is that you've matured? I mean, for me, I get more mature. And I'm not saying you're an old. I'm not saying you're an old fart.
I'm just kidding.
I'm saying that is it how can we take more responsibility? I mean, what would be your advice for for encouraging people to take more responsibility, and the fact that it's empowering to take responsibility for the results that you get and for the actions you need to take. Is anything coming up for you that might be valuable to share from your experience with that?
As an engineer, and working, I've worked with, like we work with architects and we work with different disciplines, and in that profession, I've been forced to take responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, if I make a mistake, if I miscalculate something, then that's on me, and I own up to it, and I'm like, oh, we are all human, so you do. But I think that, for me, I've, some of it has been just maturity, like over the years of doing all these projects and working with all these different people and learning to communicate properly. I mean, communication is really important.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
what do you specific? Give me a specific example of like what you're thinking about when you mean communication, because I'm right there with you. I'm interested to hear your perspective on that.
Well, I mean, everything is about communication. Like when you're, when I talk to somebody and they've got a concern about something, or if I'm talking to an end user or a client, they have what they're wanting kind of in mind. But as a professional, it's also up to me to kind of help lead them. And, if I'm not communicating clearly, or if they don't communicate clearly with me, if I can't draw that out of them and get the details that I need to provide them with what they want, then I think that, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, it's definitely key. And it's key to everything. I mean,
it's key to marketing too. It's key to it's totally, absolutely the key to our success online, right? Mm-hmm. Because if I'm not getting the engagement, if people are not listening, if I haven't caught people's attention, if people are not watching my videos, if they're not opting into my landing page, if they're not buying based on my recommendations, it's because I didn't communicate clearly, or I didn't communicate persuasively. I didn't convince them. I didn't capture their attention, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe I wasn't clear. And that, I think, is one of the big problems that I used to have, was just being clear with what I was saying. I tend to be a little tangential, meaning that I go on tangents and that can sort of dilute the point that I'm trying to make. I've tried to work on that. I also just noticed in my writing about 3 years ago that I was just unclear. I was having a lot of people that were asking questions, and I thought I was a great copywriter. I had made a lot of money writing, but I realized that, man, there's a lot of people who are asking me questions. What's the problem? Is it them? Are they not understanding? They're not dumb people. Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. Let me go back and read what I just wrote. Wow. If I read that and I received that message, I would also be confused. I would also have questions. Right. Yep. And so I learned the importance of clarifying my written communication. So, nuggets are being dropped right now. I think this is a huge, huge deal.
And you bring that up, and like copywriting is one of the things. I sat in on one of your live copywriting exercises just a few weeks ago, and just being able to do that, and I notice in mine, because of my engineering background and having to create documents and communicate with other disciplines, I have a lot of I do a lot of the same types of things that you do, but I never knew that it was copywriting. That's something, and I'm still like trying to hone my copywriting skills now that I've, learned some of this, through the affiliate marketing, and I've seen you and your examples, and some other people as well. And it's something I'm definitely trying to hone. And it's super, super important, just because it's all about communication.
Think about this, guys, that when I'm creating a sales page or an offer, right, what I'm looking at on that page, say, for example, like you mentioned the 15-second free leads, or say the 15-day challenge, or anything that's being, where there's something to where something's being sold, something's being offered. I am combing over that page with with absolute obsessive precision to try to make sure that there's nowhere, not a single word, not a single sentence that can be construed as unclear, that can be a place to where somebody can get confused. And that's the most important part, right? As an offer creator, I'm not going to say if you guys, because I think anybody who's serious eventually will begin to, maybe sell a course or a coaching program, or at least write your own sales page for something. So that's the most important place to be clear, because that's when a buying decision is being made. And if you got them all the way to the sales page, you don't want to waste that opportunity or screw it up by being unclear. But now let's take that and reverse engineer that all the way back to everything we do, whether it be an email, whether it be a Facebook post, whether it be a TikTok headline, whether it be a simple text that we send out every day for this show. The question is there anything in what I'm saying or writing that can be confused? Here's why this is important. Because a confused person does nothing. They need to wait. They need to stop until they're clear. And I saw a post just yesterday in the Facebook group. A guy said, well, I was watching a training, but this particular part was unclear, so I've stopped everything. which to me, I'm thinking, bro,
watch
we need
it
to fix
again.
that. We need to fix that, because part of entrepreneurship is not stopping. Yeah. It's about like test something, try something, try to figure it out, for God's sakes. But back to my point, a confused person does nothing. So in my ad or in my video or in my email, if there's any point anywhere that somebody can get confused, I'm not going to get the result that I'm looking for, because they're going to do nothing. And they tell us that every day it's all you got to do is just pay attention to Facebook groups in the marketing community. People are like, I'm at a standstill. I've stopped everything. And it's they're confused, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, what's coming up for you? That's kind of my rant on clear communication. Does that resonate?
Yeah, it totally does. And and that leads me, back to mindset, because if you're gonna, if you're really looking to grow, if you're really looking to, if you have that why, then you have to have the right mindset. Being an entrepreneur, or being having an online business, or multiple businesses, or multiple streams, it takes time to build, and you have to have the right mindset, or you'll fail. It's just as simple as that. If you don't have this right, then chances are it's not going to work, and you need to go back and read some books, and if you don't understand something, watch it again. And if you don't understand it, then watch it again, and you have to have that determination, and you have to be consistent. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. I mean, you picking up that from that little rant that I just had was spot on. I have this firm belief, and it's science-based, but it's also through the experience of my own and many other people, that we can't think ourselves into a new way of acting. We have to act ourselves into a new way of thinking. So I can't just sit around and go, there's no weeds in my yard. There's no weeds in my yard. There's no weeds in my yard. I can't sit around and go, I got big muscles. I got big muscles. I got big muscles, right? I got to go work them out. Same way that I can't sit around and say, I'm so confident. I'm so confident. I'm so confident. I mean, I think mantras and affirmations are good, but they're not going to change your brain. What's going to change your brain, what's going to rewire your brain, rewire your neural pathways, is certain actions that you take. And if we take the action, eventually our mind will follow. If I believe that I suck and nobody wants to listen to me, but every single day for the next 90 days, I record 5 TikTok videos, then there's something that's going to happen within that next 90 days. I'm going to get some feedback, make some sales, generate some leads. Something's going to happen that's going to make me then believe that what I say matters. But it's never going to change by me just sitting around doing nothing and saying, what I say matters. What I say matters. So if you guys are waiting for that burning bush moment, like, oh, I just got to be more ready, that perfect time, I'm just not ready yet, I just don't know enough yet, there's going to be that time to where, right, the sky is going to part and God himself's going to come right down and says, you're anointed, you're ready to start posting on TikTok, you are now worthy. That's never going to happen, right? We're never going to just wake up one day because we did nothing and have instant confidence or have instant belief in ourselves. We have to do the action, and eventually we will rewire our brain through those actions and have a different mindset. And that is the biggest breakthrough that I've ever had about mindset. And it's also the simplest yet hardest to understand and do. You know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, nobody wants to fail. You know, nobody wants to fail, but you have to, you know, you have to start, and, you know, you're going to have some failures, but it's all, you know, do you learn from that, and do you grow from that, or do you let that hinder you, you know?
Yeah. Shannon says, Joey is very supportive of other marketers on TikTok. He is the real deal.
Thanks, Shannon. I appreciate that.
I like it. For those of you who are wondering where Joey is at, Affiliate Pro JC on TikTok, and then I'm sure you can find his other places, whether it be Facebook or YouTube, whatever, from there. Hey, last question, man. What's been your experience here with Legendary? I mean, how has this community, this company made an impact on your journey? Have we done you right?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, and about the community. That's one thing, you know, getting into this, the people that I've met, you know, the support that I've gotten from other people, and, you know, Shannon brought up that I'm supportful. You know, Jamar's been there for me countless times. Brian Brewer, you know, AJ Rance. I mean, all these people, they, you know, I mean, the list just goes on and on, you know, the support, and, you know, everybody here wants to be successful, I believe. And, you know, if you have a question, or if you're struggling with something that, you know, you've tried to figure it out yourself and you just can't figure it out, you know, there's somebody here that can probably give you a hand, or, you know, help get you in the right direction. You know, I mean, just the support of this group is just incredible. And that's been one of my favorite parts of this whole journey, is just the people I've met. You know, like, I've got just a group of pretty close affiliates that I consider good friends, you know, through this whole experience. And I mean, it's just amazing. I love it.
Well, I can tell you that the majority of people that I know in terms of quantity are from this industry. I certainly have some friends outside of it, for sure. Some of my most quality relationships are from people that I've met in this business, in this industry. And it's not because we are forced to work together every day. It's not because we work in the same company and sit next to each other. It's because of the camaraderie, the fellowship, just that we're it's not even like a political or religious type. We have the same beliefs. Those are all good. Those are cool. Those connect people, but it's like a freedom-based relationship. It's like we don't have to be here together. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to be connected, but we want to be.
Yeah.
And it's regardless of political religion, right? It's regardless of those things. Yeah. And that's the sort of atmosphere that we like to create here at Legendary, is no matter what you look like, where you came from, what your background beliefs are, all that, as long as you got good values, right? That's one of the things that's important to me, is that everybody's got at least decent values, right? That you want to just do right by people. That's kind of the only requirement for membership, right? But even that's not a requirement. We feel like we can rub off on people. I feel like people deserve a second chance. Maybe you've had a rough life and you felt that you need to get over on people, or you need to, right? And then I think that if people stick around here long enough, they can see that you can get further ahead by giving value to people, by being helpful, by delivering positivity and believing in people. So anyways, I'm glad you've made some relationships, Joey, because it's not just, you know, people that you're benefiting from them. It's clear, and I know that people are benefiting from knowing you too, man.
That's awesome. It's an awesome feeling, and it's you know, I never really knew that was going to be part of this whole deal, but it's been, you know, that's been one of the things I enjoy the most. I mean, it's just it's an incredible feeling to help people. It's an incredible feeling to, you know, to know if I need something, or if I'm, you know, like if I'm struggling with something, or if I'm trying to test something, you know, I've got people that are willing to help support me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it definitely helps.
Well, brother, be well, be safe, be legendary. I know you will, my man. You mentioned some hats and stuff, actually in your thing. And for those of you who want a hat or something, they're at belegendary.shop. Just write that into, it's like not .com, it's .shop. Belegendary.shop. We've got the hats and stuff over there. I'd love to see one on your head, brother. Take a picture and post it in the group.
How do you get a shirt like the one you're wearing?
This was one that was made locally. So we need to get this up on the site. I know it's I got like, dude, I swear to God, the reason why I wear it every day is because I have like 50 of them. I have 50 of them. You know what I mean? They're like all just sitting here, and I just grab one. I swear to God, every day it's a fresh one. I'm not saying I never put on a one that hasn't been washed, right? But I try to put on fresh ones. But my closet is just coated with nothing but black shirts. Like, it's just every day. It's just, and then sweatpants, bro. Like every day. It's just,
nice.
No, seriously, man. I mean, that's kind of one of my secrets to success, dude, is I'm comfortable as hell every day. And
well, I'm not going to stand up.
yeah. See, hey, you know, that's one of the beauties of is you know what, we don't know what you're wearing down there, and I like that. All right, man. Be well, brother. Come back, okay?
Appreciate it, Dave. I plan on it. I'll be back.
All right, Joey.
Have a great weekend.
Bye. All right, my friends. You guys have a great weekend. Make the most out of Friday today. Still got one more day in the week, right? And for those of you who are the weekend warriors, maybe a little hustle over the weekend. Make sure that you get some rest, though. Recharge the battery. It's important. Be legendary. For those of you who are part of our mastermind, we got a big virtual event coming up tomorrow. So I'll be on that grind. Okay. That starts, I believe, at 9 o'clock, but you've got maybe it's 10. You've got the information in your email. If you don't, then contact support today and make sure that you get that link. Again, you have to be a part of the Blueprints and Mastermind, or have had a previous Mastermind ticket to get access to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Calvin Hill is going to be in the house. Who else? David Dill talking about Twitter. Chris and Susan Beasley. Matt Hetzel's going to be throwing down. I'm doing a session in the morning. I can't remember who else we got, but it's just going to be a big day. Lots of value. We'll see you guys there, and we'll see the rest of you back here on Monday for Wake Up Legendary. Get the hell out of here. Peace.